Good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino RHino Beer Review. Today we have a beer that was brought to me by Colgate, the one and only Colgate. It's from the Refined Fool Brewing Company in Sarnia, Ontario, Canada. It is, let's pull this here off, you can't really see anything, it's just one of their big 750s. It was a draft only. I don't know, well, a one-off I should say. I don't know if they just did this to be nice to him, or if they do this normally. But what do we got here? We have, for 5% alcohol, it's Hipster Doofus, I think. Hipster it looks like D-U-O-F-U-S. Duofus? Dolofus? I think it's Doofus. Duofus? You know, the hipster thing to do right now is to make beers making fun of hipsters. It's the really hipster thing to do right now. There's so many breweries that do it. I think on my channel this will be like the 5th hipster beer I put up. Iron Spike Brewing Company, well, Iron Spike beer from Railway City Brewing is my glass. Ooh, look at the color on that. Well, I shouldn't even say the color, the clarity. Look at the clarity on that. So I know nothing about this other than it's 5% alcohol. But that... Is it hipster of me to like that? I like unfiltered beers. I've always liked unfiltered beers. No matter the style, I get excited when I look at murky swamp water. If this was crystal clear, excuse me, wouldn't be too happy with it. Big white head, the white head's fading. It's got a little bit of a snap, crackle, pop to its smell. Ooh. Huh. Now see, a lot of people have been doing hipster beers as pilsners, as IPAs, as pale ale, stuff like that. The funniest thing for me would be if a craft brewery made their hipster ale as an adjunct lager. A crystal clear adjunct lager. Now this kind of smells like that. In all honesty, it smells kind of like an adjunct lager. Just an unfiltered version. Grainy, sweet, straw-like, a little bit of a grapefruit scent on the back end. But just boring and grainy, really. Let's try it. Cheers. Haha. You ever wonder what like Pabst Blue Ribbon would taste like if it was unfiltered and made without some of the adjuncts that are in it? I would say basically this. Very light, very little carbonation, very light mouthfeel, very easy to drink. Forefront, kind of like a corn soda. Kind of like a corn soda. Not quite like a corn soda, but kind of like it. Just grainy, sweet, and nothingness. Back end, a little bit of grapefruit. A little bit of grapefruit, a little bit of dirt. So, this beer actually reminds me a lot of what I was just saying. It actually reminds me a lot of an adjunct lager. There's no reason for anybody to dislike this beer, actually. I'm going to go on Untap tonight, I'm going to untap it, and I'm going to see what people wrote. And there actually is absolutely no reason for anyone to dislike this. It shouldn't have under a 2.5 out of 5 rating by anybody. Because if you like craft beer, it has a craft beer taste. If you like macro beer, it has a macro beer taste. It's like a hybrid between the two of them. I don't know if my bottle's just too old. I don't know if something went wrong with it or if that's what it was supposed to be. But that's what it's coming off for me, is just that. I mean, this is a beer anybody could drink. Like, I say that a lot. But actually, anybody could drink this. There's no reason to complain about it. There's nothing offensive about it, and there's nothing mind-boggling about it. There's nothing anything about it. It's just there. It's there, and it's saying, hi, I'm here. And that's perfectly a-okay. It can do that, and I'd be perfectly fine with it. It is doing that, and I'm perfectly fine with that. There's nothing at all for me to say bad about it. There's nothing at all for me to say great about it, except for anybody could drink it. Of all the Refined Fool beers, I haven't had one yet that I haven't liked. This is the one I've liked the least, but that's because for me it isn't flavorful enough. But that doesn't change the fact that I do like it. I can give it a pass, I can give it a thumbs up, I can give it a, yeah, try it, you know? It's actually something funny to me, and it is something that is not offensive whatsoever. I just swallowed all head, and it went around. Oh, it went around the. It went down the wrong tube. So, I'm gonna leave it there for a minute. I'm gonna drink another sip of it in a second after my body calms down. Really, not a bad beer. Don't drink it the second you pour it, though, because that head is very silky. I didn't realize just how silky smooth that head was until I drank that sip of it. But all in all, a good beer. All in all, a hysterical beer to me. Because again, it looks the part of a craft beer. It's made by a craft brewery. It tastes like a macro brew. I'd put it more on par with, say, high-end macro brews. So we're talking stuff like, well, in Canada, I'd say you're looking at stuff like Granville Island or Creemore, or I'll take Creemore back because they're still kind of a craft brewery, and Granville too. I might as well take them back as well. But on par with things like the Alexander Case single hop pale ales, which are actually stuff that can be acceptable to craft beer guys and are acceptable to the macro drinkers, or Guinness, which is acceptable to both, or if you're going into Belgium. And I'm not saying this is a bad beer because I actually quite like them, but stuff like Lef would be like the high-end macro stuff in Belgium. It gets here, we enjoy it, well, at least I do. And yeah, that's what I'd take it as, a high-end macro, even though it's made by a craft. And I think that's the way it was made, was to poke fun at this is what hipsters like. So here's a hipster beer for you, you hipster doofus. What can I give it out of 10? You know what? 5.5. It's a good beer. Not a style I like, not a taste I really enjoy, but it's a taste I can drink. If I had to buy it myself, I wouldn't enjoy it, but, well, I wouldn't want to pay for it myself. Refined Fool. Every beer I've had by them I've liked. This is the least liked of them all, but I think this was purposely done this way. Thank you guys. Bye.